So go to doctor, that would be Dr. Jim Phillips .net, and then click into strategic staffing, and what we're going to do is click the file that says reliability validity, and you'll see some things that will come up. And what we're going to do is, first thing we're going to do is a reliability for the time 1 and time 2. And so, press the download button right here. Okay, download. Oh, sorry. Then you have to download it, and then once you've downloaded it to your computer, then you bring this up, and it's an Excel file. Click Enable Editing if that comes up. Okay, so now what you need to do is we're going to do, the first question is conduct 2 different types of reliability analysis and report your findings. Also report the significance of your findings. So the first one we're going to do is time 1, time 2. So go up to Data, and of course you have the add-ins already set on your computer. Go to Data Analysis and go to Regression. You're using regression for correlation purposes. Make sure the labels are clicked, then click back into the Y range, and then click time 1 through the end of that. Then click the X range and click time 2 to the end of that, and then click OK. And what you have here is where it says multiple R, that is your correlation, 0.96. And significant F is your p-value, which is a very, very low number. If you look at that, that's a very, very low number. So what you've got here, because that's basically point, and then we're talking 14 zeros till you get to the 7. So 0.000 and 14 zeros and then 7, 4. So that's what you've got here is multiple R is really your correlation. And so if you go back to data, you'll note down here in the red it says the correlation R equals 0.96 and the p-value is less than 0.001. Let's do odd even now. It's basically the same thing, except for we're going to do even odd. So go back over to Data, click Data Analysis, do Regression, and you'll want to get all the information out of those Y and X ranges so that you can then run this data. Click back into the Y range, make sure your labels are still clicked, and click Even, and have all that even, time 1 even in there, and then go to X range, and then click time 2 odd, click OK. You have your multiple R is 0.95.
And I just compared those two next to each other, right?
Yeah, And then significant F is, of course, a very, very low number. Go back to Data, and you'll see that data sheet, and you'll see odd even, the R, which is the correlation, is 0.96, and the p-value is less than 0.001. Next question, suppose you wanted to use the ratings 1 through 3 and time 1 mechanics test to predict performance. What would the regression equation look like? And please report the significance of your findings. And so let's go back to regression again. You go to Data, Data Analysis, and Regression. And of course the Y range in this case is going to be performance. It's when you're using regression for regression purposes, that's what you're going to have in there. So click Performance and come down and include that whole column. And then for the X range, what you'll want to do is click rating 1, 2, 3, and time 1, and go all the way down and click put the whole box in there in the X range and click OK. So with this one, you have right here in this area, you have your coefficients, and up above you have your R square, and then you have your, it's called significant F on here, but it's your p-value, which is really low. It's less than 0.001. So if you go back to Data and you compare what you see, you'll find that this is the actual equation. Those are the coefficients that you see, and they're exactly the same numbers that you see here. And you've taken we take each one of them, and if they have an x value related, then it shows that here on this equation. And the r squared is, of course, 0.90, and p-value is less than 0.00. It should be 1 right here. So this should be 0.001. I need to put, I'll change that later. Let's see if I can find that. Well, I won't do it right now, but later I'll change that. But it should be 0.001 right here. Number 3 is predict applicant A's performance using the results from question 2. So if you go back over to, go up here and look at applicant A's performance, you have a 9 for rating 1, and then an 8, and a 4, and a 90, relatively speaking. So put those numbers in to the actual equation and see what you get, and I'll show you how you do that. Copy those coefficients and then paste them down just below. Next thing is you'll want to put in these numbers corresponding to the actual coefficients. And so for 6.62 you have a 9, and for the next one you have 8, and we just keep going down through. You have 4, and then you have a 90. Now for the for the intercept we don't have a coefficient, so we just put 1 to carry the actual, so it carries it over. And then we're just going to multiply these columns and then add them, and then add the result. So you type equal, and then you just click the next, click the intercept, and then put in a times, and then click 1, that 1 right there, and then hit enter, and then come back up and click that, and then bring it down. See if I can do that. And it brings it down, and so it puts all the numbers in here. And then go over to home, and once you've clicked home, go and click this sum button, and you have your answer, which is 8.71. So go back to the data sheet, and you'll see it's the same one, 8.71. Now then it asks, from ratings 1 through 3 and time 1 mechanics test, what 2 specific selection methods would you recommend and why? In addition, please report the significance of your findings. This is an interesting question because it's sort of going to the question of if we only used 2 instead of all 4 of these selection methods, would we save any money, and would we still get the same sorts of results and quality of information? So let's try it. So from this information, you're going to put all of these ratings in with performance and correlate them. In order to do that, you're going to have to bring performance over so it's next to, I would say next to interview rating 1. So what you do is you come up where your cursor is up above in the green area, right above performance, and you right click, and it asks you what to do next. Just click copy, and then do the same sort of thing with a right click over the interview rating 1 over that little green area, and right click, and it says, it says insert copied cells. Just left click that. So you have that in there, and then click somewhere in the sheet, and it will then be normal. Then click escape so you don't have that rotation going around performance. Okay, now you're ready to do this. Go up and click data, and click data analysis. We're going to use correlation. We're going to put everything in the range that we have here. Make sure to click labels in the first row. This will really help you. So then once you've done that, click back into the input range box, and then select all of these performance, rating 1, rating 2, rating 3, and time 1 all the way in that whole box all the way down. Once you've done that, click OK. And you'll see by looking at this that the rating 1 and rating 2 are the selection methods that are have the highest correlation to performance, if you can see that. So those are the ratings we're going to use, rating 1 and rating 2. So we go back over to the data sheet, and we're going to do a regression on this. So go to data, data analysis, and go down to regression. Click OK. And for the Y range, in this case, it's going to be performance. So make sure that you have that performance as the Y range. And for the X range, it's going to be rating 1 and rating 2, which we selected based on that correlation that we came up with. So click OK. And that's giving you an R-square of 0.836 with a significance of less than 0.001 again. So go back over to data and look and see what we have for the final answer. It says rating 1 and rating 2 have the highest correlation of the 4 variables. More efficient and effective use to use the 2 variables instead of all 4. R-square is 0.84 and P is less than 0.001. And that finishes it off, and you have a correct exam, 100% correct. Thank you.